Hi, Judge Andrew Napolitano here, and you are on Freedom Watch with my good friend and guest this week, Representative Tom Massie from the great state of Kentucky. Congressman, I want to talk to you about war and the president using the instruments of war without authorization. Where did he get the authority to drop 110 bombs on military and civilian targets in Syria 2 weeks ago?
You know, I asked that question of the Secretary of State, of General Mattis, the Director of National Intelligence, in a classified briefing, and they told me that he derives the power from Article 2, Section 2. And so I was like, let me get this straight. You're not relying on an AUMF, and you're not relying on the War Powers Act. They confirmed they are relying on one statement in the Constitution that says only this: the President is the Commander-in-Chief. From that, they think they derive all of this power, which is wrong and it's unconstitutional.
Now, as we know, only the Congress can declare war. And in the absence of a declaration of war, these are international treaties and federal statutes that the president is sworn to uphold. He can only use the military in defense of an actual attack on the United States, to repel an attack that is imminent, like minutes or hours away, to defend American persons or property from foreign attack overseas, or pursuant to a treaty we have with an ally when the ally has been attacked. On top of all that, we're a member of the UN treaty along with Syria. So he didn't go to Congress, he didn't go to the UN, and he didn't rely on any law. No. Is there any uproar in the Congress over this, Congressman Massie?
Well, you know, the Constitution is only as good as the members of Congress who are willing to defend it. And no, there's not enough uproar here. Walter Jones and Justin Amash, they are concerned. There are some other members who are concerned. But here's what's amazing. The Democrats, a lot of them are never Trumpers until he drops some bombs on somebody, and then they think it's a great idea. But look, even President Bush came to Congress. He waited a month. Now, I don't agree with going to war in Iraq, but he took the time to get congressional authorization. It should have been a declaration of war, but at least he got congressional authorization to go into Iraq, and he got a separate one to go into Afghanistan. Obama just short-circuited the whole process, and now Trump's doing what Obama did.
What do you think would have happened if 2 weeks ago the administration had come to Congress and said, we need limited authority for a surgical strike on these two targets outside of Damascus? What would Congress have done?
That's a great question, Judge. I think they would have given him that authorization. So it's somewhat arrogant just to do it without authorization when you could have gotten the authorization. By the way, I'm sad to see Rex Tillerson go. He was the most of the realist of any of the foreign policy wonks that were surrounding the president. But Secretary Mattis, I think, is a realist as well. And I think his desire was to get approval from Congress.
I heard Secretary Mattis say to some of my Fox colleagues just a few hours before the bombing, we are still trying to decide who used the chemical weapons. Yeah. Are you telling me that the Secretary of Defense was not satisfied that I don't think Assad did it, but that he himself, the guy in charge of the bombers, wasn't satisfied that Assad did what the president accused him of doing?
Well, listen, we had a classified briefing that included the Director of National Intelligence. I can't tell you what was said there, but I'm going to tell you what wasn't said there. And what wasn't said is any evidence. They gave us no evidence that Assad perpetrated a chemical attack. They referred us to information circulating on the Internet. That means one of two things, in my opinion. Either they don't have conclusive evidence that Assad committed a chemical attack, or they're not going to tell Congress. And I suspect it's the former. They don't have the evidence.
Where is this going to go? I mean, Barack Obama virtually declared war on Libya while the Congress was in the middle of a spring break. Donald Trump just did what he wanted to do on evidence so flimsy that even in a secret meeting they couldn't tell you about it. Can presidents just start any war they want?
You know, I asked that in a tweet. For those people who think the president has this kind of authority, do they think he has the authority to attack Russia? Does one man have the authority to attack China, Great Britain? I mean, their argument falls apart. They're making the argument, and it only has even the facade of any legitimacy because Assad doesn't have the capability to attack us back.
Right.
I don't know where it goes. Hopefully, it doesn't go where it went in Libya, which is a full-on, turning the country upside down, and then Benghazi resulted from that. We don't need to destroy another country. While we've got several around the globe that have been destroyed and still aren't rebuilt.
Got it. Congressman Massie, defending the Constitution better than anybody in the Congress. Always a pleasure. Thank you for
Judge.
joining us.
Thanks for having me.
From New York, defending freedom whenever they let me, Judge Andrew Napolitano here. See you next time, America.